Nick Ryker in the house. What's up, dude?
Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, super good. Super good. How are you? You're fresh off of Savage Series. You did every race, right?
Every one of them, I did.
You weren't gonna miss it.
No, not even for a wedding I was at.
You were in a wedding and you skipped it?
I mean, in a wedding, it was my boss's wedding, and we all had something planned for him. So we weren't a groomsman, but I couldn't miss it.
Did you miss it?
No,
Oh.
I had to. I got there as a buzzer beater right before it started.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Which race was that one?
this past weekend, Ohio.
Oh, so you So you
I had
went
to
to
drive.
Ohio.
Yeah, I had pretty much as soon as the race was over, I had to drive back down to Nashville.
That's
to
a
make-
drive?
Yeah, it's a drive. It's like
How long?
6 hours.
Oh my God. I can't believe you made it in time at all.
I know.
Nice job.
Yeah, the wedding was at 5, and I got an hour back. But there was a lot of traffic,
So you finished the series in 6th?
6 overall. Yep.
So how you feeling in general? Like, how you feeling about your finish?
Disappointed. Not disappointed. Definitely didn't reach my goal of getting a podium. That was kind of like the lofty A+ goal, was to finish on the podium, which definitely thought was doable. But then it was, top 5, definitely. That was like the A-, and then I wasn't even thinking really outside the top 5. And then B was like, maybe I'll get 6 if everybody just sticks around the whole year. That would be cool. So definitely didn't reach my A goal. But looking back at all the races, I only had one bad race.
Yeah.
And even I had it was a good race until I just didn't pass an obstacle a couple times. But other than that, like, I had a great series. I thought I had like a breakout, because I've never done a full series of anything. So I thought I had like a breakout kind of thing almost.
I think so too. And the way that the series was structured was that there was 3 races that were mandatory and 2 that were optional, and you take the score from the best of your 2 if you want to do them both. So the first race was one of the mandatory ones, which is where you finished 11th, I believe.
11th, yeah. And then just looking back, like, I wish I could at least got like 8th or 9th. I just kind of gave up there at the end when I lost my second. I was in second. When I lost second, I kind of just gave up. And now looking back, I was like, I really wish I had a couple extra of those points back. But
because it kind of sinks it, right? Just with and even after a third, 2/3, but only 1/3 counted.
Right.
And then what was your
Maryland? And then
2/5. And then 2/5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you finished 4 top 5 finishes and then 1 11th. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. So when we back up, when you looked into the series, when they announced it, were you like, I'm doing this for sure? Was it
it was 100% for you? Sure. Yeah. I mean, I was presented with the Spartan Pro Team contract, and I did sign, but the series races for Spartan are just, it's not something that's doable for me. They're all out west, out of the country, altitude, mountain, and I could train for that, but I don't want to go to a race and then make the excuses like, I'm not a mountain altitude runner, like beast guy. So like, it doesn't make sense. So then Savage comes out. I was like, I've never done a whole series of anything, and I've always done okay at Savage. I haven't always done the best at obstacles, but I was all in. As soon as they announced it, I was all in, because they're all in the Southeast and wherever else at.
Yeah, you could drive. Did you drive to every one of them?
I drove to 2 of them. I drove to Georgia and Ohio, and then the others I flew, and they were all easy flights.
It really did kind of split that way, right? Where it was basically the Spartan series was the West Coast Mountain series, and the Savage series was the East Coast series. And that the contract, I mean, you're not obligated to do any races, right?
No, not at all.
Not that tier 3.
Tier 3. They don't want me there anyways.
Are you going to chase tier 3 again?
No, I don't think I could do enough Spartan races this year. The only way is I go to Kelowna, I feel like, and I do something special there.
Well, you could win 3.
I think I don't know.
Races.
I don't even have 3 on my schedule.
They're counting like the Sunday races and stuff.
Are they counting like the non-money races? And like, so I have the Nashville, and then I have, well, I guess I do have more, because I'm doing Philly Stadium, Fenway Stadium, probably Giant Stadium.
Oh, going into a little stadium series then on top of it? Nice. So, okay, so you're all in at that point, and coming into the season, this was really the first season after, well, the first season after last season where you had that setback with your health, and kind of coming into this, it seemed like your expectations for yourself as an athlete had kind of changed. So you want to talk about that a little bit, and how that your mindset had kind of shifted from where the previous years was all about like making sure that you were trying to win these races and doing all these things just to kind of perform. And this year, you kind of seemed like you had a different.
Yeah, I wanted to go into the year and just not get sick, run a full season, and just have fun with it. And Savage is a great opportunity because they have such an amazing staff, great obstacles, and great people racing just to have fun. Like, I just wanted to have fun racing again. Because like in 2019, when I was just living at home, 23 years old, nothing, I just was racing, and it was so much fun. I had so much fun, and I raced well. And then I got to that, I'm actually kind of good at this. I should probably take it more seriously, almost like a job. And it just stressed me out so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't fun. And so I looked at this season, and I was like, so if like, even after the 4 race, like I got 11th, and it's like, it's fine. Like, nobody really cares about this besides me. And at the end of the day, like,
I care.
You care. And my dad cared. And
dad cares.
Dog probably cared. But at the end of the day, like, I went back to my job, did my job, and I'm at a job where I'm at a gym, so you have to like have customer service and membership, and like you're there for them, and like they make you feel amazing. And it was like that race is fine. Like, there's another one. This doesn't define who I am. So it was just, I just kept building on that. When you have that mindset, you don't get to be upset for a long time, and that's the best thing. Because if I had that same mindset and I went down there, got 11th at a series race and wrecked my whole season, I would have been upset for weeks or maybe months. And I was upset for about a day, and I got over it.
And there's definitely a mourning period, which I think is okay. It's not, you can't.
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, you have to. And like, if you like, obviously I care about this. Like, I don't want to spend the money and train every day and make sacrifices. So I obviously care a lot about it, but I can't let it just like kill me in the inside.
So after the 11th place finish, you make the call that you're going to do the first optional race, because it was Florida, and then the 2 optional races were Georgia and South Carolina. Yeah. So in Georgia, you come to it, and what are you thinking at that point? Like, how's your feeling toward the series and the race in general?
I kind of basically said the best I could possibly do is probably 3rd in the series now. And now it's like, let's just spoil it for everybody else. Let's go spoil it for Jared Flack, your homie, like my homie. Let's go try to spoil it for other people who did well. And that was kind of my mindset going to it. And like Georgia, it's an optional. So you think some people won't be there. And that was the case. And I knew it was a good course for me. I got to drive there, so I didn't have to like do much travel. And I just kind of, I brought it that day. I really stuck my nose into it. And I mean, I only missed first by 20 seconds, and Aaron's the one who won, and I was running next to him the entire race. Like, we chased down Kempson. I got all the way back to 4th, and then I was able to pass Woods again. Like, that was a big, big stepping stone in my racing career. Like, somebody I've never beat before. I was beating them the whole race, and they came back and passed me. And I didn't get upset. I didn't get down. I passed them again before the finish. And that breaks a huge mindset in me. Like, anybody, like somebody you haven't beat, and you think you're about to lose to them, but you pull through. That was a breakthrough for sure.
So talk about that a little bit more, because that is something that is really prevalent in racing that I think people might overlook a little bit, is the idea of beating someone that you never beat before, and the mental advantage that that person probably has over you, and just the ability to kind of like will yourself to want to win. So in those moments, and someone like Woods, who is, historically one of the greatest obstacle racers that we've had, honestly. So when in those races before, was there moments of doubt, and where
there's always doubt, always doubting. Like, I've always battled my mental game. And it's so easy. Like, when I have friends or coworkers, it's like, why don't you just go win? I'm like, it's not easy. Like,
only one person can win.
I don't think there's a huge fitness level difference in a lot of us. I really don't. There is like at the top of the top, like a Ryan Atkins or a VJ, but everybody else, I don't think there's a huge difference. It comes more down to the mindset. And it's just, when you lose to somebody like Ryan Woods and you've never came close, and you are leading against him the whole race. I know he's 43 and I think he was sick before it, or like Aaron Newell, you running side by side. You're literally just in the back of your head. You're like, am I about to blow up? I'm surely I'm about to make a mistake
right.
because they always beat me before. I'm about to make a mistake. I know I am. They're just buying their time before they pass me because they know they can. So it messes with you so much. And then when you just finally do it, like the next race in Charleston, Woods did the same thing. He came up to me and I was able to just run away from him because I know I've done it in the past. It just takes that one time, and it's really hard to get over it.
When you reflect on that race where you did end up beating them, it was after a Colossus, right? And everybody was like kind of going backwards, and like you found it and you got out, and that was late in the race as well. So was there a point in that race where you're like, oh, I can beat these guys?
Yeah, it was. Georgia. It was just like you were like I was in second for some of that race.
That was when you smashed the carry, right?
I smashed the carry and I got through ahead of Aaron, and then he did his technical running that I wasn't as good as him, and he got ahead of me. And then I fell all the way back to fourth with like a quarter mile left to go. And I remember feeling like I'm so heartbroken. I was feeling so heartbroken. And then I got to the top of the water and I see they're both still in there. And like it's still a possibility. Because if anybody's done that obstacle, like it's hard you just fall back, you slip, you don't know what's going on. So I just told myself I can get out of the water as soon as I can. Maybe I could get one. And Woods just didn't get to the side, and I was able to. And that was a huge breakthrough again. That's why I love Savage. It really isn't over until it's absolutely over.
And so then coming out of that race, are you feeling like, all right, I've made this kind of jump, or are you feeling like
I thought I was making this kind of jump. Look at these comments here.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Look at these comments, man.
This is awful. This was happening just the other day too. I gotta reach out to
what's in your web browser that we?
This is upsetting to me. I'm hoping that this is a StreamYard issue, not it's not a browser issue. My shit is secure. Apparently not. Whatever. I'm trying to get these things out of here.
But yeah, after the race, I literally did think like I have made a huge jump. Because again, Kempson, former world OCR champion, Aaron Newell, kind of well known as one of the best obstacle racers in North America, and to come within 6 seconds of Kempson, 20 seconds of Newell on, historically, of course, I'm not the greatest at running hills. I'm pretty good at technical running and nasty terrain, which it was pretty nasty that day. It just gave me that confidence, that swagger a little bit, even like I'm walking around like when you just finally have a little small breakthrough, you have so much more confidence, and that's what it was to me.
Was there any thought that it might have been a fluke? Were you feeling like imposter syndrome type of deal?
It was a little, because I know, because still in that race you had Sean Roberts, you had Alvaro. Sean didn't finish the race; he got hurt, and Alvaro just had a bad day, and Ryan Brzezowski, I think, hurt his knee, and Woods, again, I think he was feeling a little sick. So it was a little like, okay, anybody can do it once, and I'm just training to do it the next time. So it was definitely in the back of my head, I don't know if I deserve this, but that's racing. Like, you can only beat who shows up. Some people don't finish sometimes, and that's part of OCR.
For sure. So it sounded like there was a bit of both sides to it. Like, hey, I've done something I've never done before, and now I'm ready to kind of keep it going. But also, it's like, is this right? Like, if everybody shows up, like, how is it going to go? But the next race was the second optional race. This is the third race of the series, which was in Charleston, right?
Yes,
so
Charleston.
A lot of the athletes who couldn't make Georgia would have had to have come to
right. So, you knew Sean was coming. You knew Jared Flank was coming. You knew Alvaro was going to do it again because he didn't do so hot in Georgia. Didn't know if Kempson was coming. I knew Aaron was not. I knew Woods was coming. So it's, again, like a solid field of great athletes. So That's the only thing. I wish they didn't have their 2 optional races back to back.
That was a little weird.
Yeah.
It could have had it like, made South Carolina mandatory, then Maryland.
Something else. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whatever. So coming into that race, how are you feeling then? Are you like, all right?
So coming to that race, I was coming off of Go Ruck Games.
Oh, right.
I was in the middle of a ulcerative colitis flare where I lost about 10 pounds. I wasn't eating. I wasn't really training all that much because I couldn't. And I was like, I'm going to do it because I don't know. What if I can get first or second? And I just helped 1 point because I already got a solid third. So if I'm not feeling well, I could just drop out of the race and it wouldn't hurt me that much.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever like self-diagnose why you had that flare up?
No, I just think maybe I was
happens.
I think I was off my medicine way too long. I had a little bender that I went on to with a couple weekends, and I think that didn't help at all.
Not good for the health.
Yeah, not good with the health, and I think just the inflammation comes back, and that's what I'm always been worried about. I'm constantly worried, like the inflammation can literally come. I'm on medicine again, but it can literally come back whenever it decides to. So it's always kind of terrifying.
And that was the first real flare up that you had since the diagnosis, right?
Right. And like I remember just waking up on a Monday and I'm like, something's off again. Like instantly. I remember just like I can feel the inflammation in my gut. Like I can feel it being inflamed. And like I wasn't eating, and then like Charleston, I was like, I don't know, because I haven't been able to make it through a run like more than 5 minutes without having to use a bathroom like in a month, almost like 3 weeks. So I was just like, again, the adrenaline. I didn't eat for 18 hours before the race. Just go do the race and see how it happens. If I have to drop out, I drop out.
Yeah. Do you ever think about like how it's because it's strange that your quality sessions are usually fine and the racing, aside from Go Ruck Games, right? But that was a 2-hour event, which is something that you're like probably just isn't going to go well in general, but that you're usually pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't
race
get
days. Yeah, like what could you do, and what's different on race days than every other day?
The adrenaline.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Is the adrenaline.
You tell your body to shut up.
Yeah, my body just And there's been moments in racing I'm like, oh no, it's happening, and then it just goes away. But like when I'm in training, I'm like, oh no, it's happening. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Like
you don't force it away.
Myself today,
yeah.
So like I definitely didn't think Charleston was going to go as well as it did, but coming away with a third there, on just a flat, fast course. I had no chance beating Alvaro and Sean that day. Obstacles were dry. I was really running like 5:20 pace, and they were running away from me. So I was like,
that's wild.
What can you do? Yeah.
It was that fast?
Yeah. It was very fast. It was extremely fast.
So, and at this point, the obstacles, and I've heard some like rumblings that they're kind of making it a little bit easier for the series. Do you believe this to be the case?
And I don't think they're making it easier. Like we're just getting better.
You think so?
I think we're getting better. Like it's a 6-foot lache is not the craziest thing even for the women's side anymore. Like they're just getting better, and we're getting better at it. Like they would have to do something ridiculous, I think, for it to be really hard.
Were you ever worried about like what the rig was going to look like?
Yeah, every race I was. Every race I was worried about what's the rig going to look like.
I mean, that's the one thing that's kind of like the spear of Savage, right? It's like this thing that you have no control over, but can completely ruin your race. I mean, you have control over your spear, not to say that that's something, but like it's just this anxiety that you can kind of feel. It's just like a little bit out of control outside of the race.
And then when they stopped doing like pre-race previews for it,
what's the deal with that?
I don't know, but like Savage is really good. You can go see the rig the day of. Can't try it out, but you can go look at it. And if I could just look at it before I race, I have a plan. And then I'm pretty confident then.
So you'll just look at it and be like, okay, this move, this move, and then I should be good to go.
Yeah.
And it works most of the time?
Yeah, it's worked pretty much every time. As long long as I have some good idea about it, I'm feel pretty confident I can get through any rig. Maybe not as well as some, but I know I can get through it.
Yeah. What would be something that would have just really been like, not sure how this is going to go when it comes to
It's when they have those white PCP stripper poles.
PVC. No, you screw me up again.
What PVC, whatever. And they're like dewy. Well, that's right. The other thing. It's like, that's just, I don't know, 50-50 chance of getting through it.
And that's more just weather and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So that's mostly the factor. And so there were some races where they had some stuff and didn't have other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? And did that play into your race plan at all?
Like they had some obstacles, and then they didn't have any. Then at some location they didn't have those obstacles.
Yeah, like and that wasn't their explanation, like because we can.
Yeah. I mean, you get to see the course map, so it's not that big of a deal. I don't think that was big of a deal. It was just Savage being Savage. Like, hey, and they are kind of sometimes handicapped about where, like, the property, if they can do certain things or not.
For sure.
Like the tree hugger obstacle I fell off in Florida, I'm pretty sure that's only at their Florida location.
That's the only place that was?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, that I've raced at.
Were you like looking at the course map every time?
Always.
Like, oh man,
always,
no tree hugger again. So a second, third, and those are both huge, and those paid out, right? Third,
yeah, they paid out. The Charleston didn't help me in the standings at all, but it kind of got like it bumped some people like Jared Flack, like he got one place lower. Matthew Gill got one place. Flank, yeah. He got Flank. He got one place lower. Like so, it's. Still was like, okay, I didn't gain any, but some people that were around me that didn't go to Georgia, they got one place lower.
Right.
So it's a, you can look at it that way as well.
It's like kind of displacing, like your seventh guy in cross country displaces somebody else's like fifth.
Right. But it was a great race. I mean, I had a great race. So a lot of confidence builder.
And just to build that confidence back up. Yeah. Woods didn't do this one or no?
Oh, he did. So
he did.
He was able to run away from Woods again there. So, it all worked out.
Busting that ass. All right. And then the next race you knew everybody was going to be at, which was Maryland.
Right.
How did that change things? Were you still like, hey, I'm going to run with these dudes. Like, let's make it happen or what were you thinking?
So Maryland was, again, like, I didn't just fully decide to go to Maryland until about 2 days before it.
Because you were still feeling great?
Yeah, I was feeling worse. But I got on some prednisone about a week before the race. And I finally had my sorry, listeners, I finally had my first solid poop in 6 weeks, like a day before the race. So it was like, that was a good sign. Like I woke up and I felt fine. So I was just going to Maryland. I was like, I haven't done much training. I haven't done a quality session or anything. What I've been doing was riding the assault bike and just doing short runs after it for like 20 or 30 minutes. So like I just wanted to race. I was very conservative in Maryland, definitely at the start. And I was thinking if I could get top 6, top 7, like I'm already kind of out of the series, that would be a good day still.
You ended up 5th?
5th, yeah. And like at one point, I mean, I was running with Sean, Briz, and I was with about a mile left. And that was 3 through 5th right there.
Right.
And I got, I was in 3rd for a little bit. I was in 4th for a little bit. And I just ran out of gas at the end.
Wait, when did you run your mile?
I ran my mile a week, about 10 days after Maryland.
Oh, it was after Maryland.
Yeah. Like when I started feeling better, I started feeling better.
Nice.
Like instantly. Like back to the old me. Like almost even now I even feel like now sitting here today, I almost feel like I don't even have UC. Like that's how much better I feel.
Maybe it's like your way of altitude training. You just like feel terrible every day in your stomach. And then when it goes away.
Yeah. And I feel that I'm just fit.
Then you're crushing. So let's talk about the mile though. Because that was in that mix.
Yeah, that was
what was better? A sub 420 mile or 3rd place at a Savage?
I think it's sub 420 mile.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's because
that's a huge PR. That's a 8-second PR.
It's wow, really?
Yeah.
Were you solo?
Solo the whole time. It's at my hometown in Heron, Illinois. Shout out. every year we have a town festival, and the last day they have road races. They have a 10K and they have a mile. And I always get so much crap because I never do the 10K. And I'm doing the mile every time. I'm doing the mile. That's all I care about. Me. Yeah, I don't have any interest in running a 10K on the road, like on a horrible course. But the mile is straight downtown, down on our main highway. Wind is always at your back. It's a little downhill those first 300 meters, and then it flattens out. So it was a great course to run a PR.
It's straight.
It's straight. No turns. Yeah, no turns. And like the only quality session I could be doing, like when I was like my stomach flare, was just kind of short mile specific workouts. Like that lasted 10 minutes. So like I was in shape to at least feel that pain, if that makes sense.
Were you doing 200s and 400s or?
Yeah, I was doing like 90 seconds hard, 90 seconds jog. And I remember that was a good workout. I did like 3 or 4 rounds of that and then some 200s. There were actually like while I went to Maryland, 2 days before Maryland, I'm going to do a mile workout to see how it feels. I did 6 200s, all at 28 seconds. And then I took like a jog back and to recover. And then I took like a 4-minute rest after all those. And I did a half mile in like a 2:20. So I was like, I feel fit. That feels good. And it felt easy. And I was just hoping the mile I can go sub 4:30. And I just went for it that day. Because the wind was it was like 15 miles an hour. There was this old guy on the bike who like the town runner, like the mentor, and he's like, "You can do something special today. Just go after it." So I just went after it straight from the gun.
What was your splits were?
58, 58, 202, and then whatever I finished in.
A half mile.
I didn't feel like I was losing that much time. Like I didn't feel like I was like dying at all. But
that third quarter, if you can hang on.
And I don't know. I ran like a 68. It's like hung on ish.
58. Okay, so it was 58, 64, 68. Is that right? And then would you close in like 65 or something?
What was my last
202.
It was a 217, so 68. So 69.
Okay.
Is that the math right? Yeah. My last 400 was my slowest one.
You probably would have been outkicked, but maybe you got away ahead of everybody.
Yeah. There was some high schoolers that went with me for about 100 meters.
They did, really?
Mm-hmm. And then my friend Brian went for me as well. He stuck with me for about 200, and he actually only ended up running like a 4:58. But he was like, "Yeah, you went out so hard. Like it took forever for those high school kids to finally pass me. He was already so out in front of them."
But what do you think? You think you could do that on track too?
I don't think so.
You think the wind would just
the wind and maybe the turns too?
Turns a little bit.
I actually got asked. I'm in a running group in Nashville, and I posted. I was like, "Look at," because it was 419.99.
Heck yeah!
Like, it was right under it counted. And I posted in there, like there's a coach in there, and he was like, we're holding a high school mile, like last chance. We want our kids to go like 4:15. Do you want to pace for like the first 12? You want to pace the first 1,200? And I went, I don't think I can do that. 1,200 meters. Like you don't want me pacing.
I mean, if you were doing 63s and you just didn't pace it like a maniac, but
and see,
could you not pace it like a maniac?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I would be able to pace it. I'm like, I would be all over the place. I promise you that.
Yeah, that's probably better that you didn't opt for that one.
Yeah,
weren't quite dialed in with the pacing.
And I was like, it was being on a track. I don't have any spikes anymore. I would have to wear like, I don't know. I guess my Brooks Hyperions. I don't know.
What do you think you run? 425?
Maybe. I would like to think.
I would think so.
I would like to think. Yeah.
Top 3 milers in OCR right now.
If anyone wants next Memorial Day 2023, show up to here in Illinois. I'll house everybody and we'll race that mile. We'll find out.
I would say, I mean, Sean's going to beat you.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know. I mean, Nick Mask was the fastest mile at OCR Stars 2 years ago.
Yeah, maybe him.
Maybe.
Ian Cassidy, I know, ran like a 4:24 on the track a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. He ran under 2.
Yeah, he ran under 2. But he got worked in Ohio last week or something. So I don't know.
Yeah, he almost doesn't count on the OCR side anymore. He's almost like a track runner
I
running OCR.
I like my chances against a lot of people.
I like it too. So doing that, yeah. And are you thinking like, man, if I just had the high school back, I'd be just like.
Oh, I texted my high school coach texted me and said, "Why couldn't you be that fast when you were in high school?" And I was like, I don't know. I played baseball. That's why.
Didn't have UC then.
Right.
What was your high school PR?
440.
440.
Mm-hmm.
Then it dropped to 420. Yeah, because say even 425. What would have won your like league meet?
Oh, I would have won. Sectionals. I think our sectionals you had to at least go like there was sub 422 in the 16. There's a couple of good guys, and then usually the state winner is always a sub 420.
You guys are fast in terms.
Like it's usually anywhere from 415. Like it's been as low as like I've seen in the last couple of years, like a 410 to like a 415 usually wins it.
You don't got that dude like in PA. What's my guy's name? Martin.
Yeah.
Rocking the glasses, just crushing sub fours.
Sub fours, yeah.
So what is it? It goes sectionals. Is that like your way to move?
Yeah, we have sectionals and then states, and then top two from sectionals go or a qualifying time.
Or a time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't even run the 1600 at section. I ran the 800 and ran like a 201, and I got like 9th place. So it's pretty good runners.
Yeah, I mean, we call that districts. And was your section a big section? I mean, probably not.
Yeah,
right?
it was because we were the biggest school one of the bigger schools in Southern Illinois. Mm-hmm. So there was 1A, 2A, 3A, and we were in 2A. But a lot of the other schools in Southern Illinois were 1A,
which is smaller.
We were one of the smallest 2A schools in the state. So we had to go up against a bunch of schools like in the St. Louis area, in the Central Illinois area sectionals, where like they have way more kids, way more better runners. Yeah.
So would you have like 250, 300 kids in your grade?
In my grade, I had 120 maybe.
Oh, you're one of the bigger schools in Southern Illinois?
we had 700 kids in our whole school, and we're probably the third biggest school of all Southern Illinois. Yeah.
Oh, so still very small.
Very small. Very small. Yeah, correct.
And there was that many people running under like 201.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I feel pretty good about my senior year sectionals. I ran 201. I played baseball too, so I never got to train. So yeah.
So your half mile, your 800 in your road mile was not your PR.
No, pretty close too.
Pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty close. Right. So carrying that confidence, you're then rolling into
going into Ohio. Ohio is hilly, but they're hills that like I train on. Like they're 250 to 300, and even from back home in Illinois and in Nashville, those are kind of like the hills you have. And I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at that grade as well. They had it at.
How steep would you like? Any idea? Because they started you straight. I haven't watched the coverage yet. But
it's nothing that like you ever have to power hike really. Yeah, you can look at this chat, dude.
It's still blowing up.
But you can it's very runnable the whole time. But it's steep. It's steep.
So again, I haven't watched the coverage yet, but you took it out?
I took it out because before the race, if we go to the standings, top 5 gets paid out. 5th only gets 250, but it's like, okay, you're top 5 in the series.
Oh, it does?
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So I was in 6. Me and Jared were tied for 6. So I knew I had to at least beat Jared. Mm-hmm. So the worst I could get is 7th, and the best I can get is 5th. But I had to beat Briz by 5 spots.
Oh, geez. So he would have had to really blow up.
Yeah, and I'm like, I would have had to win or get 2nd, and then he would just have to have not that great of a day.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to have somebody else like help me out, like Ken or James Zoich or something like that. So I was like, I have to. If I win, he has a good chance of maybe getting 6 because I'm just looking at the guys. So like, I have to go for it.
Yeah.
And the only way to really beat Kimpson is, I'm not going to chase him down. He's not going to fail anything. I'm not going to chase him down. You kind of have to go with him. So yeah, I led the first climb, and I was shy for shy with Kimpson the whole way down as well. And then there was a 1.5 mile flat section. I kind of just didn't have the legs for it. And Sean, Jordan McDougall, and Aaron Newell, they passed me there, and I just never caught back up.
Jordan didn't do the whole series, right?
No, he only did 2 races. He did the first and the last.
Huh.
It's kind of annoying.
I'm surprised our guy Logan Broadbent didn't show up. That was
I know he went to. He's a Spartan guy. He went to Ohio Spartan.
Tier 2.
Yeah, he's Tier 2. And that race, the Ohio Spartan's only like I think an hour outside of Cleveland.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if he's doing those distances, but later in the year.
Yeah, and I didn't have the greatest obstacle game on Saturday at Ohio. Like I lost time on a lot of stuff, and I just didn't have the legs running flat after like going downhill hard. I just didn't, and they just outran me. But once they passed me less than a mile in, and nobody else passed me, Briz and I battled back the last about 5 or 10 minutes back and forth, but was able to get him. Even though he beat me in the series, I beat him 3 out of 5 races this year. So
I know.
But all to him, he never had a bad race. He never had his worst placing was, I think, Charleston, which didn't count. But other than that, like it was 6 and above. Like he never had a bad race.
And I think if he had some different tactics, I think he had some podium finishes in him for sure. Yeah. Like that first race, it was just like, dude, you got to chill.
Right. Right. So. Like, he's very, very good athlete. So that was tough, but I'm glad I went for it. And all my Strava segments on it, on the first one up, I had the second fastest time on the first up and downhill. I was the second fastest on the second uphill. And on the second up and downhill, I was the second fastest there as well. So I was top 2 or 3 on all climbs and descents.
So your running's working.
Yeah, it was exactly that. It was just a flat ground. I just didn't have it.
So if you were to change one thing about this series, or more than one thing, like if for next year, if you have notes for him, like what would you kind of put out there for him?
I would definitely best 4 out of 5. Like don't do those 2 optional ones. It just didn't make sense.
I
don't know the reasoning behind it.
It's just to get the best competition at least 3 races.
I guess, yeah. I guess I would prefer a best 4 out of 5. It just say my Florida race went well, I wouldn't have had it done Ohio, so I wouldn't have had to rush back for the wedding.
Right.
That's kind of a selfish reason, but I would do best 4 out of 5. If they want to do that optional reason going forward, I would not do that back to back, But other than that, like it was amazing. It was some of the most fun races I've ever done. Like even leaving Ohio, I was like, feel like I'm leaving graduation. If like in high school, I'm not going to see my buddies for a little bit. Like we got pretty close as competitors and racers, and with the Savage employees, like they're amazing people. Like they're such a small company, so you get to know every single person, and they know you. So it was like a great 5 races they put on.
What was like the popular song around the time you were graduating for a graduating song?
Oh, it was that one in Fast and Furious by Wiz Khalifa, whatever that song is. Like I See You Again.
Oh,
yeah.
That was the one. That was
pretty popular. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Because there was like Green Day. I think was right around more around my time, and the Vitamin C. Can't forget that one, the graduation song. But so you're playing Wiz Khalifa on your way out back to the wedding.
Right. So it was. Yeah, I got close with people I haven't like only known through through social media. So it was cool. It was good. Like I see why people love series races, because you see the same people and get to really compete against them.
Yeah. So, okay. So just the best 4 out of 5. That makes sense. The scoring, the scoring's fine. It's simple.
Like when you start doing like weighted, I get why you should do weighted, because, you should reward people with top finishes, but it kind of just the math. I don't know. Quick math doesn't work well with that.
We don't need to do the quick math, but
nobody needs to.
You're just out there on the race course, just crunching numbers.
Right. Yeah.
That's why you're trying to do it on Tree Hugger.
Right.
You're on the ground. It's a problem. Well, cool, man. I was really happy to see out there. And like, I did think that you did have a couple of like big breakthrough type races and just running with confidence and knowing you kind of belonged, because before that, wasn't sure, like there'd be a Spartan race here or there and you'd clean up regionally, you'd show up at some of the national races and you had some top 10s in there, but never one that was like, oh, there's Ryker the entire time. And you had those type of races in this series. So I think that there was some breakout, and maybe because we didn't have 2020, really, we didn't get to see it too much, but this was really cool to kind of see grow into like the high end competitor.
Right. And like in the past, the reason why I didn't go to a lot of series races or big races, because I was scared. I was scared to compete against people that I know was so much better than me. But then I do this, and like you're forced to get better or don't be competitive at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really it's showing me how much faster I actually am than I thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
Running 5:15 in Florida the whole time, I don't think I could have ever done that. Through obstacles, it gives you a lot of I see why people do these big races, because you get the best out of yourself.
Yeah, and that's that, and it becomes that way, right? And I think I fell victim to similar to a mindset that you had for a long time, where it's just if I go to the race, and I'd rather go to a race and win than go to a race and get 10th against good competition, right? And now it's the opposite of that. It's why would I go to a race if there's not going to be the best competitors there? Because who am I supposed to stack myself up against, and how am I supposed to push myself as hard as possible? So I agree with you. And it's
always cool. It's always cool to get an easy win, but what's the point of putting all the hours in a race and to training, getting up early, having early nights and everything, if you're not going to truly find out how good you can be?
Just to hang on to that tier 3.
Yeah, right? Who cares about that?
I mean, it's nice to have the free pass. It's pretty cool.
It is, sure.
So, okay, so you're going to take some downtime now, or what's it looking like?
This is a down week for me. It's actually perfect. We're going to New Orleans as a work trip.
Sweet. Have you been?
I've never been to New Orleans, and I'm going to act like a fool. And then it's back to being serious.
Then you're gonna come back, have some gut inflammation, deal with it.
Yeah, I might. I'm on my steroids, though. It should help a little.
And then after that, check out our guy Glenn's taking a look. He's gonna be out of Chicago too. And now an announcement there. I didn't know that. It's gonna be pretty stacked out in Chicago. It looks like.
Good. We might as well do a pre World Championship in Chicago.
So I think at this moment, from what I just off the top of my head, not really knowing much else, Glenn's been putting in really good work for that, and he's going to be a problem because he's fast. It's going to be me, Kent, you're in there, Glenn. He's just off hernia surgery.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to convince Kirk.
Jack Bauer might.
Jack is on a canoeing trip.
Oh, yeah, and he's not good anyways.
The race brain contingent is accounted for. Maybe Kirk. I heard Victor. I heard Derek York too.
Okay.
So we're talking 8 deep right there. I would love to see that dude Anas come out. That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah, he'll probably come out.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he's traveled too far for a race yet, but it could be fun.
Or anybody else. We didn't mention you. It's nothing against you. We just don't know.
Just come and bring it.
Right.
Just show your presence.
Right.
And then what's the fall look like for you?
It's pretty dicey because the only thing is with work, I dropped to a new role in the headquarters, on a corporate location, and we're opening up new locations I'm a part of.
Like a suit.
A lot of them.
Are you wearing a suit?
Nope.
Not right now.
Still gym attire.
Okay. Good.
And we're going to be opening up 3 of them in the fall, and one of them is looking like it's going to happen on OCR World that week. And I want to go to OCR World so bad. Like I said, that's the best competition. I'm running great. The people that are probably good contenders there, I race against them in Savage all year, and I held my own for the most part. It wasn't any mountain races, but held my own. I think I'm a better uphill runner than I think I am. So I want to go do it. It's time for me to do something like that. So I just got to figure it out. But if I can't do OCR Worlds, it's going to be more of just a DECA focus and stadiums.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you mentioned the stadiums and DECA, definitely Chicago. You see the New Jersey's happening again now?
Yeah.
Same spot we were at?
Yeah, probably won't get to there. It's going to be at the same spot?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, then I'm not going to go do it on turf.
With the turf, yeah.
Yeah, I want to run fast times if I have to.
Right. It just, it just depends. Where are you sitting right now?
Not in the top 12.
You're not in the top 12? Because, Denver is just, that's not
Denver is a wash, yeah.
I mean, at altitude and on turf, right?
Yeah, that was a watch. That was stupid for me to go out. That was so stupid.
You learned about altitude.
Mm-hmm.
It is real.
Didn't even get to see you. Like, it was so dumb for me to go out there.
That was a tough time to get COVID for sure.
Very tough.
Time to get COVID. Never a good time, but
if I don't, probably I have West Palm on the schedule just in case. You never know. And I'm tentatively, it's only in August, but I'm flirting with the idea to go to Kelowna. Don't know how. Like,
do you have a Spartan under your belt?
I have one Spartan under my belt. Yeah, Jacksonville early in the year.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I'm talking about know how, because that's like probably a 2 hour plus 2.5 hour race. I haven't been training that much for it. So we'll see, but I want to go do it. I feel like, again, like that's where the competition's at, and I need to go see if I can do it.
You should go out and rabbit.
Can do that. And everybody says like it'll be worth the trip anyways to go out there, like how beautiful it is. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, sweet, man. Well, again, really fun to see you out there getting 6th place in the series. No payout for 6th, huh?
No payout for 6th.
That's okay. That's okay. You made a little bit of money. Probably didn't make any money.
No, I'm a negative on the season. If anybody thinks I'm a pro athlete, I just got in a relationship, and my girlfriend Alex like, oh, you probably have like all these sponsors. I'm like, no, I have VJ shoes that give me free pair of shoes. That is it.
What about the realtor?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while. He's going through some family stuff.
Didn't see a return on investment.
Yeah, probably not. I didn't give him anything, but yeah, he's going through some stuff. So I just haven't wanted to reach out and ask for money. Don't think it would be kind. Yeah, but I was like, I don't make money doing this. So that's why I shouldn't get too upset, because like I love doing it.
Yeah, Amy has been saying, like, one time introduced me that I was all pro athlete, and I was like, I'm really, really not. like I can make some money, but barely, just like enough to pay for all the rest of the races.
Yeah, your ILAC Chicago should have paid for something.
Yeah, it just kind of goes back into it's probably paying for my flights and hotel out to DECA Chicago. Yeah. Oh, and then I made a little bit at High Rock Vegas too. Mm-hmm. I might be okay. I might make it in the black this year. Who knows?
Yeah, I haven't made money.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up. I'll see you in Chicago for sure. Yep. And then enjoy yourself in New Orleans. Eat some po' boys. Do you like seafood?
No, but I'll try it if I'm there.
It's all fried anyway.
If it's fried,
everything's fried. Yeah,
fried.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
All right, my guy. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.